Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, everybody. Let's get into this, shall we? All right. So, we are going to go ahead and do just kind of a brief touch base. I wanted to still get another video out for every single zodiac. And this is the only way I could do it is if I do it in one big long video. And this is more just for like the touch base for what to expect for the next week. But just so you guys know, I will also begin putting out all of the videos for May because we're almost done with April. But this series right now is just going to be for a quick, couple cards for what's the energy for this next upcoming week, and then starting on Monday and Tuesday, we'll start getting all of the May videos out. Okay. I just released one for Virgo. It's the only one I have done for May at the moment. But anyway, guys, here's how I'm going to break this down. I will timestamp this afterwards. We're going to do Ophiuchus, then we'll go through the air signs, then we'll go through the water signs, then we'll go through the fire, and then we'll end with the earth. Okay. And I will timestamp at the end. Hi, everybody. You guys are adorable. Oh yeah, AC, you've always been a member over here. Hi, EM, Mr. the Peaceful Observer. EM, you were first in the house tonight. Tammy Johnson, great to see you again, love. G Long, Nikki O, so wonderful to see April Fresh. Thank you. And Annette, wonderful to see you again also, love. All right, let's get into this, shall we? So we start with Ophiuchus. Here we go. The message for next week for Ophiuchus says Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So for Ophiuchus, something could get pretty clear. If there was a debate going on, the debate is being answered. Yes, it was a long-lasted, indecisive energy, or even somebody who had to give energy to two different things for far too long. It turns out there's like completion and harvest time in maybe more than one area of life. So if there's been like, man, I've been remodeling my kitchen and I've also been, covering for my colleague at work this week, it's like, oh God, my kitchen remodel is done and I feel like I got my life back. I'm not working all those double shifts anymore. It could be something along those lines, but it's like, wow, I'm going to get a fatty paycheck too. This looks like there could be a wonderful, influx of either financial ease or some kind of benefit and harvest coming in for Ophiuchus this week. But we also would see this as someone who has maybe not been able to make the final decision. It's been made now, or it's being made in this next upcoming week. And it could be, let's say, waiting for the bank to determine if we get a loan or something like that. It could be like abundance related. If someone was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to sell the vehicle or not. Yeah, I actually am. Finally, all of this is about decision making. We do have the devil. There could be a Capricorn involved in this whole decision making process, or there could be somebody who's big jealous, big pissed because Ophiuchus is the winner. Ophiuchus winds up getting the if it was a competition, for example, if there was some kind of debate as to who was going to get the promotion, it's Ophiuchus. And yes, that could make somebody else quite jealous. They may show that, but the devil doesn't always have to be jealous. It could be that Ophiuchus is going to be, this is all positive until we see the devil. But that's why I'm not so sure that I want to read that in a negative light. It could just be a Capricorn. It could just be, man, that was intense. Woo, this could be Ophiuchus feeling like wobbly, like, oh my God, I was so stressed out over that. I didn't even realize it until now that things are going smoothly. Now that I know I got the good news, now that I got the payout, now that I have some things being really clear. I don't feel like this is specifically about romance at all. I think that this has more to do with like a life event, a life choice, and something that's turning out to work really, really well. And we got the Eight of Pentacles. It's the only problem that I see with this is that just as we get an answer and it's this moment of total celebration, this could be like midweek, there's something to really celebrate, but then almost as quickly it's like, oh man, now I got to get back to grinding away on the next project. So it could be a very busy week with highs and lows. We could have some mixed energy for Ophiuchus with somebody who is jealous, but again, it's more like all of this is kind of fleeting. Even the good stuff, although we want to stop and celebrate it, it almost immediately gets eclipsed by, okay, wow, I got the bank loan. Now I got to get busy, starting the business that they loaned me the money for, or now I got to get busy, buying the house. And that's a whole nother project to, the work. So there's good energy here, and there's also more effort that is still required. But it just looks like this is going to be a week where Ophiuchus has some awesome wins, and then they can turn those wins into very positive outcomes. We have the World card. So Ophiuchus could definitely wind up having a terrific week, and a week that really changes their life. Again, with the Capricorn energy, let's read this one other way and say, if there was a debate about whether or not Ophiuchus wanted to be with a long-term partner any longer, it kind of looks like the answer is, yeah, I do want to work on things. And this could be the most incredible relief in their mind. And they could be the ones making a really significant change. Ophiuchus might not realize how much he'd been walking on eggshells. That's the other way I could read that if that were about an individual, but it would be very specific to being a Capricorn for that particular storyline. All right, next up, let's go over to Aquarius. Aquarius is coming in at 6 minutes on the nose. How nice and rounded is that number? Let me get that out of the way. We're going to go this route. All right, Aquarius, what is the energy for this next upcoming week? We've got a 7 of Pentacles. So again, some kind of like possibly financial abundance or payout, time for a harvest. There's something positive coming. Wow. And we got the Emperor, Aries energy. This is awesome. It almost feels like someone's finances are going to be freed up, or somebody is going to suddenly have this outpouring of emotion. We noticed that before he was stern, he was silent, he wasn't saying anything. This could be the boss suddenly giving a raise out, or this could be like the emotions coming from possibly a very divine masculine. And it's like, wow, I can't believe they actually are approaching me and saying this. I can't believe this. I think it's going to be this huge sense of like, I was so worried about this. I didn't know what they were thinking of me. I didn't even know if they'd noticed me. I kind of feel like Aquarius could get asked out by their crush, but their crush is somebody that like they think the world of. Well, obviously their crush thinks the same way about them. And I do feel like Aquarius didn't know how somebody felt about them. With that 10 of Wands in the reverse, it's like, we did have this mirror here also. 4 of Swords in the reverse, there's definitely some kind of breaking silence. I just feel like because of that mirror, and I think for a while, Aquarius was like, I have no idea how they see me. And it's making me not even want to look in the mirror. It's too stressful. All of that is going to lift off of Aquarius' shoulders this week. And that whatever silence, or even if there was an argument or there was hostility, it looks like that is going to be broken. And I think it's going to be like a flood of like relaxation energy that comes in. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that you were busy healing. I thought you didn't want to talk to me anymore. Or I didn't know how you felt about me. I didn't realize you had other things going on. This could be somebody who's not been in Aquarius's world in a little bit, and they were gone for a while, and now they're coming back. They could have been gone a week, maybe 7 months. This doesn't feel like it was if it was that scenario, this isn't someone that Aquarius already had a love relationship with, because why were they, like this statue, this immovable, unknowable, you can't figure out what's going on in a statue's mind because they don't give you any context clues. Statues aren't making facial expressions and having dialogue with us. So I'm thinking that this is somebody that Aquarius really had a hard time getting a read on. Maybe this is someone that they had a crush on, but they really didn't know where this person disappeared to, and now they're re-emerging in Aquarius's life this week. That's more the vibe that I get out of this. Is it's a week of tremendous relief to realize it wasn't about Aquarius. And maybe that's just a great message to remember. Most things aren't about us. Most things are, people have their own set of, triggers, worries, and fears. When someone goes quiet or they retreat, let's not jump to the conclusion that they must hate me. It's something I said. I can't remember what I said that was rude. I don't know when I was rude, but I'm sure I did something wrong. This is such a great reminder not to go down the road of self-blame, regardless, because nothing is as it seems. I really feel like there's somebody that Aquarius was very concerned, wasn't speaking to them or wasn't around because of Aquarius. And that's just not the way it is. And they're going to find that out this week. It's such a relief to get the knowledge that this, I think this Empress could be thrilled to see. And I do think that since the eyes were so visible, I do think this is somebody that is going to show back up in Aquarius's world this week. And they're going to get the full story. And it's going to be like, oh God, you're a sight for sore eyes. And Aquarius is like, all this time I thought you hated me. I thought you were staying away because of me. So really nice sense of flood of relief. All right, Gemini's up next, coming in at 10:14. Hi guys. Oh, Mario, happy birthday, honey. That is so wonderful. Happy birthday. All right, we've got Gemini, and for that we've got the Five of Cups. Five of Cups for this upcoming week does say somebody is in a place of sorrow. Gemini could receive a message, maybe this could be a mother figure that is really sad and like, I really miss you, Gemini. This could be somebody that Gemini's been estranged from. It doesn't have to be a feminine. My first impression was mother figure, but doesn't have to be. We have Justice, though. We have Eight of Cups. This almost feels like somebody's going to try to put a guilt trip on Gemini, but this week they may say, good, I'm glad you do miss me. I walked away for a reason. This wasn't okay. I'm glad you figured that bit out. This could also be an ex or somebody that reaches out because, they're in like mourning garb. Like this relationship is over. And I mean, this is like, Gemini's like, yeah, of course I walked away. They could have been dealing with a Libra, a water sign. That's all we've got right now is just Libra or a water sign. But it's obviously much stronger emphasis on Libra, being Libra's right there. There is something here that I think this person either brought chaos into Gemini's life, and that's why Gemini was like, I'm not even going to deal with that. But it's weird that hearing from them this week and hearing like their longing could be the tipping point where Gemini's like, now that confirms I'm glad that I walked away, because they could be sending out a sob story like, I need help, I want this, I need that. How come you're not here to help me? Instead of just like, oh my God, I messed this up with you. It almost feels for Gemini to like turn their back more thoroughly. And then we have this tower here. It almost feels like Gemini saying, now I can totally wash my hands of this because this person it's always all going to be about them. They're not calling me up to say they're sorry. They're calling me up to guilt me like I owe them something. Nope. That's what I needed to know. They really are always going to make it about them. I'm so sorry, but it just looks like Gemini feels validated and like I'm allowed to walk away from this for my own health and well-being. The Nine of Swords, I wonder either Gemini had been really stressed out about this person, or they had felt a lot of guilt and shame about this. That could be why the Tower is here. It's like, oh my God, that just totally lifted all that off of me. Or it could be that Gemini is like, okay, there are other things I still got to face. No, this is like straight up, I get to move on. I don't have to look back and fret. I can be who I want to be. I can date other people. I can go my own way. Six of Wands sideways. I think Gemini just realized somebody was manipulating them. And I'm so sorry that it's kind of like such gnarly little cards on this one. But for this storyline, for this week, it looks like Gemini is realizing this. Yeah, somebody wants them back. But because of like, gimme, I want. And I think that this just lets Gemini feel totally entitled to say, oh my God, I can't believe I was so stressed about that person. Maybe Gemini wanted them back too until they react this way. It's like Gemini sees their true colors. That's the best way I could say it. And it is vindicating, and it is like, wow, I actually do feel more empowered walking away now. But admittedly, I think Gemini might have kind of a bit of a wild streak this week. I'm single, I'm footloose and fancy free. I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet other people. Gemini may wind up in an amorous embrace with possibly a brand new individual. This is a little bit of like careful about the rebound kind of energy though. If they're a little bit on the pissed side that they had to deal with somebody who's still just woe is me and they want Gemini back, but they're not apologizing for bad behavior in the past, I can see that Gemini might be irritated / liberated enough to say, hey, I don't answer to anybody. I am single. I can date who I want. I can kiss whoever I want. And that is, of course, always true. But with that Page of Wands and the Six of Wands sideways, that's the only thing that makes me think, Gemini, don't jump into things that your heart's not in, Gemini, or something that might not make you feel good inside after all. And it's just about not choosing a random lover unless that's what you intend to do, and there's not going to be any negative like emotional implications later on. Do you, boo? But by all means, make sure that you're doing what you want for all the right reasons. That's all. All right, and Libra is going to be next, coming in at 1524. All right, here we go. Libra, what's next week bringing? We've got a Two of Wands. That could be a very Libra-esque energy. There's this vibe of how this, Libra's way things, right? Two of Wands is the choice between two, but we have this gentleman obviously sitting here, contemplating, thinking deeply, and we have these two different ships sailing in, and I kind of feel like it's going to be a week of choices to make. It's going to be a week to make decisions. We have the Hermit. One of the choices or one of the decisions to make could be whether or not they stay in silent mode. This could be a Libra who is maybe deciding whether or not they want to talk to someone, or they are of two minds about like withdrawing from everybody for a while, going, on some internal retreat. Or there could be a Virgo that Libra is trying to decide, do I reach out to them? I haven't talked to them in a really long time. What should I do? Eight of Pentacles. It feels like a very contemplative week. It feels like Libra is off on their own, but they're thinking and even cultivating something. Okay, so they're wrapping up a cycle, but they're also preparing something. What is this? What is it that Libra is preparing? All of this feels thought process and preparatory. Okay, so Knight of Cups. Libra is tidying up their energy flow, their feng shui, their mindset. They're tidying everything up and putting everything in order internally so that they can move forward. They could be writing and rewriting a draft of something that they want to say to another person. There could be somebody out there that Libra wants to offer love to. This could be them, psyching themselves up, preparing what they want to say, also making sure that they are ready for a brand new beginning with someone. It's like letting go of one thing and preparing for the next chapter, but the next chapter happens like this week. So obviously this is a culmination of stuff they're already basically ready for this, except in their mind. So Libra is putting their thoughts together. They are figuring out what they want to say. We have Strength card and we have the Queen of Wands upright. This is something that Libra wants. This is something, I could read it this way. Let me pause for just a second and say we could be dealing with a divine masculine Libra who has this Queen of Wands on their mind, someone that they very much want as their romantic partner. And they have been preparing themselves for this day for a while, preparing themselves to move toward her and offer her something that's like revealing, I'm 100% like ready to give to you. I'm 100% wanting to give to you. I'm 100% ready to be with you. Do you accept my offer? So we could look at it like that. Or we could say this week is Libra is in the energy of thinking about things that they want to work on in their own life. And this is a whole separate thing. They're thinking about their career. They're thinking about their money. They're thinking about the stuff that they want to do really well in life. And we have someone else who's going through an ending. And this would be unbeknownst to Libra. The Libra's over here, busy little bee, kind of internally just doing what they need to do, working on their projects, working on their money, working on their fitness, whatever it is. And unbeknownst to them, we've got this other character that is preparing to step toward Libra. Now, if they're coming toward Libra, it is because they have ended something very thoroughly, and they are ready to pursue some kind of, like they see Libra as the catch of a lifetime, a person that they want and would be very proud to stand beside. So they're either getting over their jitters and coming toward Libra, or this is Libra doing all of this. And I don't know, because we have different cards here. In fact, we really don't have a whole lot of Libra, other than in the beginning I said, well, this is pretty fitting because it's about, choices and, weighing things. But we got to remember, Libra's not the only person whose week is going to be filled with, options, opportunities, and, decisions to make. And this is definitely, it feels like we're dealing with two people here in this storyline. So I find that the Libra stories are a little bit complicated lately. The Gemini stories are always like, wow, wild. And then the Libra ones are always complicated to figure out which character is which. And I would say that holds true for next week also. All right, now let me do a quick recap before we jump on into the water signs. So Ophiuchus started us out at the very beginning. We'll just say it 00. Aquarius was at 6 minutes, Gemini was at 10:14, and Libra was at 15:24. In just a second, I will go ahead and jump into the water signs, but I wanted to backtrack just a second. Sheba Rose, welcome, sweetie. Just so you know, tomorrow, Sheba Rose, I will be going live in the members corner as just a little extra fun after party thing, and we'll do some card pulls in the members corner. So I'm doing it on both channels tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. for about 45 minutes each time, just so you guys know that that's coming up. All right, let me backtrack for just a second. I was seeing some conversation that I was wanting to make sure that I think you guys already filled in. Yeah, Mario, no, I don't sell my stories. If that's what you were asking. Yes. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. No, Mario, thank you. I'm honored that you would want me to, but no, that's just at special occasions here and there. So anyway, but thank you guys, and you're so wonderful. Ian, thank you so much for filling him in. Mario, please forgive me. I don't know if it's him or her, but thank you so much. All right, next up, let's go to the water signs. We're going to go Pisces, then Cancer, then Scorpio. Then after that, we'll do the fire signs, and then we'll end with the earth signs, okay? So here we go for Pisces. Sorry, I just had to briefly take a quick peek at the comments there. Pisces, here we go. Pisces, what's the energy for next week? That feels like the wrong deck. Hang on. Pisces, let's go with the giant deck. Here we go. Pisces starts with the Fool card. That's really exciting. There could be some new adventures, but it's with a companion. Is this going to be about new love, new romance? Is this two people deciding to take the plunge, take the leap? Wow, 10 of Pentacles. And we've got a Page of Swords sideways. This could be the week that either two people start to feel the same way about each other, even though there's not direct communication about it. It could, sometimes we recognize like, damn, that person, I really like them. I'm gonna make an effort to, stand at a lunch break, wait for them so that we both get to walk and chit chat and admit that like I really look forward to lunch breaks because I love it when we get to chit chat for a bit. It could be two people are vibing this week, and it could be they admit that bit without admitting all the rest of it. Like I'm feeling like this is a budding romance this week that comes in, and it could be that neither one's going to fully admit like, well, honestly, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been spying on you for a long time. I've been trying to arrange opportunities to accidentally bump into you for a long time. I've been trying or hoping that we would get to be in the same place at the same time. I don't see either of them quite admitting that. I see that this is still the time where this is too new to be super secure, even though it is pretty thrilling and there's great hope for what this could become. Page of Wands, this is a week to just enjoy the flow. talking to somebody that we're interested in, that we like, who likes us. There's such a great rapport when two people start to share and open up to the fact that, so good to see you. Like, oh no, I always look forward to, whatever Mondays, because I know I always see you on Monday. Just that little bit of confirmation that like they pay attention to me and they like my smile and they like my energy. This feels really, really good. And it feels like the journey has begun, and it's just got to be one step at a time. It's kind of like heady and exciting and a little bit thrilling. This is really fun and really sweet. It's really exciting energy. Now, I could read it one other way, and I could say someone is going to announce that they're moving back. They're coming back to the fold. They're coming back home. The whole family's going to be together soon. This could be travel or somebody literally moving. I doubt it's just travel, though, without long-term implications. All of this feels like the first step toward big change that is super exciting. And it's like, nobody knows. There's no promises. Oh, God, that song by LP is in my head. It's called Tightrope. Up high in the middle of nowhere. Feels so good I could die, but I don't care. Walk slow and low on a tightrope. Hope it lasts, but you never know. It's very much, kind of like it's that exciting, like, oh my God, I feel like my heart's going to burst. This is so thrilling and so wonderful. But at the same time, it's still new and who knows what's going to happen. But damn, I hope this goes the distance. Very nice energy on this. Whomever this person is could, of course, be an Aries. It could also be possibly an earth sign. They could be an air sign or a fire sign. So we got everything there. But very, very uplifting and very exciting, Pisces. I love the good vibes, but that last card was our most important, which is take it one step at a time. Just let it unfold, let the enjoyment unfold. Don't, start over projecting how great it's all going to be or has to be. Don't over romanticize, just enjoy the journey. All right, now I'm going to do Cancer in this storyline next. Even though I normally don't do Cancerian videos on this channel, they are over on Tarot Dog, and I usually put those out on Tuesday and Saturday. But when I do one of these videos where I encompass all the zodiacs, I always feel like it doesn't feel right to leave Cancer out. So if you guys are wondering, though, how come you don't see full-length Cancerian videos, it's because I do them on Tarot Dog. A long time ago, I decided Cancer was just always swallowed up on this channel. Nobody ever knew when the videos came out, so I moved Cancer to my second channel. But for this upcoming week, we have got the Ace of Swords. Cancerian, that's a moment of truth, clarity. That's a moment of cutting through confusion and getting to the heart of the matter. We got a Page of Swords upright. Okay, very exciting. This is clarity, possibly like somebody has needed to gather the information and they finally have done it, or they're realizing this is what I need to know. This could be somebody making a list of the stuff that they need to find out about, which means they're getting their thoughts together. This could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. This could also be that Cancerian discovers or finds out that a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius has been spying on them and is not over them. And it could be because they go ahead and reveal it. Maybe they fumble, they slip up, they accidentally, Cancerian sees that they, liked a photo of theirs or something like that, or they hear through the grapevine that, oh yeah, so-and-so, I bumped into them. Yeah, I think they had a couple of beers because they sure were talking all about you and how much they missed you. Like, have you heard from them? I mean, Cancer literally might get the full-on knowledge this week that a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius is nowhere close to being over them and still thinks very heavily of them. This storyline for them anyway is not over, but they could still have a real complicated situation. We have this Four of Pentacles. This is somebody who, I don't know why they're still spying and unable to get over this if they're still tangled up elsewhere. It almost feels like we have this story of somebody who's really stuck still, but they want Cancerian, but they also are like, in their mind, unable to free themselves from something. So nothing has changed. Not the way they feel about Cancer and not their situation. That Four of Pentacles says they could still be in a long-term commitment. There could still be money issues with them trying to even consider separating or breaking things off, or they don't have the money to leave a connection. But unfortunately, they're kind of still stuck between a rock and a hard place. We got the Seven of Pentacles, and we've got that Eight of Wands sideways. I don't think this is direct communication. I think this message is coming in indirectly to Cancerian, that I still think of you even after all this time, Cancerian. I still want Cancerian. I still wish I could be with Cancerian. And I don't know how to tell them, but my heart says it all the time. Look, it's not a great message simply because we have them still stuck. We don't have big change, but we have this message of even after all this time, they still think about Cancerian. I'm sorry, that is what the cards are. I don't get to pick which ones come out. So I'm sorry that that's kind of, just a bit of a bummer one, perhaps a little bit there. All right, next up, let's go to Scorpio. We have got coming in at 30, 28, and I will, of course, timestamp these afterwards. Scorpio, what's the energy of next week? We got 3 that came out pretty wild and woolly. Hang on, this one is sitting upside down, and like I couldn't even get my fingernails around it to grab it. So we have got an 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. We have a 7 of Swords sideways. We also have an Ace of Cups upright. Okay, energy of the week is kind of wild, because we have a Scorpio who's like, I'm not dealing with this. This is BS. I'm not dealing with this. What do you mean? No, I'm not thinking about this anymore. I turn out my light and I sleep like a baby. I don't think about this joker. I don't think about this problem. I don't think about this anymore. Okay, all well and good, but it's not 100% true, only because that 7 of Swords is sideways. Because whomever this person is, I think Scorpio loves them. Maybe Scorpio's like, nope, I don't care. But this person loves Scorpio. Whatever has happened, whatever this is, this week, it's like, I'm done dealing with this. But it's not 100% true if they were to come in and offer the big cup of love, or even if there's going to be like a moment where Scorpio says, I'm shutting down, I'm not dealing with this person. That might be a bit of a bluff. They might mean it in the moment, but this could be, let's say this isn't about a romantic connection. Let's say, I always use like fighting with siblings as an example, only because that's something I'm very familiar with. I can have rip-roaring fights with my brother. He's the one I typically fight with. And yet I love my bro, but we battle like the Titans. We've got all kinds of stuff we tell each other off about. But, and I can't even tell you how many times, like, we're not going to talk. I'm not going to talk to you again. And then it's like 15 minutes later and we're talking. And that's just kind of like, I think, really juvenile thing that we never grew out of as kids. I'm not talking to you. And then we're over it in 5 minutes. And I almost feel a little bit of that vibe. So maybe this is not, obviously when we love our family members and they get under our skin and we're like, I'm done with this. I am so not dealing with them again. But we even know that that's not true, even as we say those words out loud. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. It just feels like it's not true. We have a 4 of Wands. Okay, so in this storyline, it could be that there is going to be an upheaval this week in a romance, but you know what? Afterwards, this is a breakup with a makeup that maybe doesn't even take a whole week. It could be 3 days. It could be like, we're done. We're never speaking again. And it doesn't even last the week. It's like half the week, right? Since this card is sideways. It's like 3.5 days. And instead they're like, Scorpio, man, I love you. And Scorpio's like, I'm in love with you too. We're in a 4 of Wands connection. This does feel like a bit of an emotional roller coaster week, but we humans, like, our emotions are very changeable, and our frustrations do make us sometimes say things that we don't mean. And it could also be that Scorpio has to tell somebody, I'm not doing anymore. I'm not putting in more effort. It's your turn. You get no more from me. Even though it's like, no, I love this person, but yeah, they got to stand up and fly right. They need to give me, I'm hearing Tina Turner, all I need is a little reaction, just enough to tip the scales of something about a typical male. It feels like, oh, this person is going to be showing up with big love. And it could be that Scorpio falls in love with them all over again because they actually put in the amount of effort. But I do think that this was either conflict or argument, or Scorpio was like saying they were done. Even though I don't think they meant it, they just expected somebody to step up and pick up the slack and really be present. Page of Wands. The only problem that I see here is if this person needs to put in more effort, they probably need to get more consistent. And I do think that they could be the type where they sometimes still get pulled away. Like maybe they're somebody who has like a really busy, active brain, and when they get into like a project or something, all these hours pass and they don't call and check in, and it's like, and they may revert right back to that. Like, I'm sorry, no, Scorpio, I mean, but I love you. Okay, fine, we're good again. And then they go right back to getting really hyper focused on some other task that they, get interested in pursuing. This is not somebody who's out cheating. This is somebody who's got like interests, hobbies, things that might just completely like, there they go. They're off thinking about something else. I can't remember which book it was. I love Kurt Vonnegut, but there's a Kurt Vonnegut book, and I'll probably misquote. I think it was Cat's Cradle, but in it there was like a character described as this brilliant scientist, but he unfortunately could, if he was driving to his job at the laboratory, and he started to, like, he saw a turtle and the turtle made him think about something, he just pulled over and he, stared at the turtle for, 3 hours, forgot he was on his way to work, forgot that his car was sitting there running. And then he eventually like meandered off to do some deep turtle contemplation because he had this great, physics idea. And so eventually they were like, you can't actually drive anymore because we can't trust you to get from point A to point B if something else, drags your attention away. And I just always thought that that was such a, like a, kind of like an endearing and cute character. But this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Someone who doesn't mean to be disrespectful or unloving, but they might have a mind that goes off in a direction, and then they're thinking about turtles now. Like that's the way I would describe that. Okay, before we get into the fire signs, let me just recap real quickly. Ophiuchus started out at 00. Aquarius was at 6 minutes. Gemini was at 10:14. Libra was at 15:24. Pisces was at 22:28. Cancer was at 26:41. Scorpio was at 30:28. And now here's the order that we'll do the fire signs in. We're going to go Leo, Sag, then Aries. And then I'll recap again, and then we'll end with Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Okay, so here we go. Let's get to Leo. Leo is the Wanderer. So the Fool card. Big old leap of faith this week, Leo. This could be Leo doing something new. Ooh, could be a Capricorn or an Aries. We have the Devil here. Hang on. To have this sudden leap of faith, but then to have the fear. Wow, Four of Wands. Hang on. This is all big ticket items. We have the Moon. So this is a little complicated because we have two different energies this week. I'm almost thinking, does Leo have either two vastly different things going on in their life? One thing that they're afraid to do, but they're going to do it anyway. It's like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to do this exciting thing. I'm pep talking myself through this. I'm trembly to do it, but here I go. I'm going to go see if I can get that job. And I have no idea if they're even hiring. We could look at it as something like that. And it's all just about Leo's journey. Or we could look at this as Leo's about to take some big old leap of faith, going after their best life, having a good old time. And we have someone else who is going through hell this week. And they could be very much aware that Leo is their Four of Wands. Leo is a person they most want to be with. And Leo doesn't have a clue that this is how somebody feels about them. It's tough because, let me see if I can sort this out. What's the Devil? the Six of Wands, I definitely feel like that Leo's going to have a really, really, really good week. They're going to be looking more powerful, feeling like their life is going great, smiling a ton, just super charismatic. And unfortunately, someone who's already like nervous is going to be even more nervous. Like, ah, my God, how do I approach them now? They are rocking it at the moment. Mastery of Coins. This could be an earth energy male. I know we have a queen here, but this is actually the King of Pentacles in any other deck. Here they chose to put the feminine on the King's card. So this could definitely be a masculine earth sign, or, this could be a same-sex couple. It doesn't matter. But whatever genders we read it as, but we do have Leo coming across as a feminine. This is somebody who's really scared to move toward Leo because Leo is going to be in peak physical form, peak performance this week. They're particularly charismatic. Leo is going to be very much in the public eye, and Leo could be doing some stuff that makes them more visible. They come across as super brave, super fun, and that further turns this King of Pentacles into like, I'm more nervous than ever. Here I want to offer something big to this Leo. And oh my God, I'm even more intimidated at the moment, even though they're still a solid upright king. And even though we still see good solid cards, their doubt in how Leo will receive this has just gone through the roof. So kind of nerve-wracking. Let me get one more on the moon. Seven of Wands. They may delay saying something, or they certainly toy with delaying. They may prolong. Maybe they were going to I'm going to reach out on Monday, and instead Leo's looking too good in their pantsuit. And it's like, I can't. Leo's got great legs. I'm too intimidated now. I wanted to ask Leo out, but damn, I didn't know they were going to wear that pantsuit. Now I'm just too intimidated. They may wait literally all week and keep being like, I'm gonna ask Leo out. No, I'm not. It feels like they keep. Leo has no idea how nerve-wracked they are, all because Leo's having a week where they just look good. They got good hair days. They got cute pantsuits, the whole 9 yards. One more on this. Seven of Swords, sideways. Whomever this person is, by the way, they could be a Capricorn. They could be a Pisces. They could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or a fellow fire sign. But they are lying through their teeth if they think that either Leo is somehow like out of their league and wouldn't have any interest in them. I think that's flat out wrong. I think Leo would have interest in this person. And I mean, obviously we have the two wolves both howling from their hearts for each other. So this is somebody that I think, sure, this could be a new romance, two people that are attracted to each other. But this person keeps telling themselves, no, there's no way Leo would be attracted to me. And they know that that's not true. Or this could be an ex. And same thing. They're like, no, I'm not going to reach out. I'm not. But they know that's a lie. They have to reach out. This person is nuts about Leo. It's just crazy that this is such a good week. And then there's this whole undercurrent that Leo is totally oblivious to, where somebody else is just going through hell. And it's all because of Leo. Not because of Leo, but because of their emotions around Leo. So somebody is uncomfortable this week, but that's kind of their thing that they're going to have to deal with. Leo, I didn't timestamp when I started Leo's. Oh, shame. All right, Sagittarius coming in at 4324. Here we go, Sag. If anybody knows about when I started the Leo, please do let me know in the chat. I'm sorry about that. Sag, what is the energy coming up for the week? We have got a King of Cups. All right. And this is always my one bourbon, one scotch, one beer. John Lee Hooker song always comes to mind when I see this person sitting here. There could be a week for socializing, going out for drinks with somebody, could be going out for like nice cocktails, some top shelf liquor. This is not about getting drunk. This is about, we've got love here. We've got positive emotions. Ooh, we have the Tower. Okay. So liquid courage. There could be, if somebody's going to happy hour with an individual, they may intentionally, try to loosen up a little bit so they can finally let their ego down and speak from their emotions. Sure, I guess we could say maybe there's a drunk dial on the horizon this week coming towards Sag. We have a 4 of coins. This is somebody who normally is a vault that is unlocking the vault. Okay, so we do have somebody who wants to say things. And this could be somebody who's held back their emotions all the way since last year. That is crazy to think that this King of Cups might be spilling the beans. They could also, though, be an Aries. They don't have to be a water sign. We do also have Earth energy. That 4 of Pentacles says they could be someone who has worked with or around Sag. But this really feels like this week could be the week that they've got to get their emotions off their chest. Yeah, Knight of Cups. The only problem that I see with this is if there's going to be a big declaration of love coming in for Sag. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, guys. It's been a really busy, long day. If they're going to, convey all of this all of a sudden, and it's been, just kind of like this festering thing inside of them, after perhaps having enough drinks to lower their inhibitions and say how they really feel, they perhaps don't necessarily have a very well sketched out plan of what to do next. Now, if they do this from like the drunk dial standpoint, where they just, blurt out some expression of love, it's like the following day, they may be a tad bit awkward. They may be waiting for some kind of, oh God, how was that received? And oh God, did I actually say or do that? It does feel like this person may have some, not blurry memories, but they might have to regroup a little bit. And there's still going to be a need for a real heart-to-heart conversation, one that is like very sober, very crystal clear. But I think that someone is going to make an expression of love that's going to be kind of blurted out first this week, and then more serious conversation. They're not doing this and then like wanting to take it back. It's just there still needs to be a more important, more straightforward dialogue. But the initial, I need to blurt this out, I got to get this off my chest. That's how that comes across. That song by Blue October, something about, oh gosh, I came to see the light in my best friend. You were as happy as you'd ever been. But it's actually a song about someone who's professing their love to an individual that they obviously held emotions for a very long time. But in the song, she's like married to somebody else, but he still is like, I just have to tell you, like I've loved you all this time and I was your friend, but I should have told you that I loved you. So anyway, that song comes to mind. I love Blue October. Next up, Aries. Aries is coming in at 4744. All right, Aries, here we go. Aries, we have got Temperance, Sag energy. We've got possibly the energy this week is going to be one of peace and harmony. It could be if Aries has like, I don't know, I'm picturing somebody's making themselves a smoothie in the morning and it's like, this is so yummy. This is a perfect blend. I got my berries just right with my apple juice, or, like I just love this particular, little blend of items that I put in my blender. This is yummy. This is perfect. It feels very peaceful. Ooh, and the Emperor. Okay, so this could be a week. Here's our Aries. This could be a week where Aries is like, everything I tried to put into action totally has worked. Like, I'm the bomb diggity. I got this all worked out. I got this. I really, truly have organized my life the way I needed it to. And wow, I can launch from here into anything. This is the week could get wild and woolly. We could have, because this is Loki. Loki is god of chaos in the Norse mythology. But it starts out so peaceful. It starts out like Aries is well rested. They've got a good game plan. They feel like they can take on anything. They feel like maybe their boss is totally backing them. If this is them in a position of authority, either in their, their role in work, or maybe this is just their role in life, or maybe this is, head of a household or whatever it is. Aries is like, man, my house is in order, everything about my soul feels powerful. It feels good. So yeah, bring on the chaos. That's all right. I eat chaos like it's, snack crackers. Like I so have no worries about chaos. I can move quickly. We have the Hierophant. This is powerful connection to one's higher self. Whatever this is, because this can be about something that I can sign my name to this. I can handle a really difficult situation and put it all back in an organized structure, and I never even ruffled my feathers. I do feel like Aries is going to be tested. They start out strong this week. Things get wild and woolly, and Aries comes out even stronger, more like emotionally stable than ever, more sure that like I've mastered this. There is some newfound like swagger in Aries this week. Now, this could be maybe Aries needs to do some kind of like public speaking. Maybe they're taking on a new role this week and they're going to become a bigger lead in some area of life. It turns out it's a perfect role for them. This Aries is meant to be a leader. They are, no matter what comes up, no matter what problems arise, this Aries will be able to squash them, no problem. And it just feels like this is going to be such a lovely week for Aries to be like, I was born for this. I mean, it's hard. Not everybody could do it, but I don't even get rattled. I've got it. We have the devil sideways. Yes, chaos tests anybody. It's just that this Aries gets a chance to really realize, yeah, I don't get scared. I don't get, overly reactive. I manage the flow of energy. Even if Aries has every right to get like big pissed off, instead they handle it really well. They diffuse the situation. They come up with answers and solutions instead. And it might be a really nice, I don't know, I feel like this is confirmation that Aries has overcome some kind of personal hurdle, but the proof of it for themselves is that, wow, I handled that really, really well, differently than I would have in the past. If this is about relationship at all, there is a very serious movement in relationship. It is not just about lust. It could be Aries and another person are like really bonding, really flowing. And instead of shifting a romance into like a more lust-based connection, I think it becomes more spiritual. And it's like, wow, this really is an important connection. We just crossed through some kind of new threshold where, I mean, yeah, maybe there's lust here too, but that's not what draws us together. I realize this person loves me and I love them. It's like this newfound sense of awareness is what I would say. Everything's dialed in this week. Nothing is superficial this week either. That's beautiful. Aries, that was really quite special, quite lovely. All right, let me do a quick recap before we go into these final three zodiacs. We're going to get to the earth signs here for the end, but we start out with Ophiuchus at the beginning of this at 00. Then we went to Aquarius at 6 minutes. Then we went to Gemini at 10:14. Then we did Libra at 15:24. We had Pisces coming in at 22:28. Cancer was at 26:41. Scorpio was at 30:28. Leo, I botched, and I have to try to figure out where, somewhere between like probably about 36-ish would be my guess, but I have to go back and double check. Sag started at 43:24 and Aries was at 47:44. All right, now Capricorn, here we go, coming in at 53:15. All right, Capricorn, what is the energy for this next upcoming week? What's the big ticket items? I think we want to go this route. Capricorn, here we go. Ooh, one popped out fast. We got a King of Swords. So there could be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, like a boss figure, somebody who's going to speak some truth. Somebody could have like white marble countertops that's like really clean, or like white tile somewhere in their bathroom, or like marble at like a outside of a business or something that they go to. This could be going into the halls of, like legalities, jurisdictions, of like, let's say going to talk to an official person at like a courthouse, for example. We have the moon. This is a really beautifully refined and laid out like event or place. If there's a date coming up that Capricorn has, like a romantic date, it's somebody's taking them to a really nice restaurant, maybe a place that has very beautiful like garden space or indoor outdoor seating or a great view. It's very well planned out date. And it's something that would be a big surprise. It would be someplace Capricorn hasn't been before. It's also, I don't know, it just feels like there's reverence here, but it would be a very happy surprise. We've got a 7 of Wands here, which is about, how we overcome struggles. It's kind of a weird mishmash of energy for the week. We got the Hierophant sideways. There's some Taurus energy coming in. I'm so sorry to say this, but it almost feels like someone that Capricorn is none too sure they actually want to go out with is trying to dazzle them and treat them really well and take them out on a date. Or this could be someone who wants to get, let's say it's not about a date necessarily, even though that is the way my brain sees this first. But let's say this is somebody who wants to court Capricorn to try to get them to come to work for them. And it could be like, here, let us show you, this is where you could work. There's so much but that you could have if only you would come to work for me, because this could be a boss figure. However, they still don't really say the things that Capricorn would need to hear to know that, oh yeah, I totally want to do this. We don't really have confirmation that Capricorn's down with this. In fact, if anything, it could be like, I honestly, why didn't they give me numbers? Why didn't they tell me how much they'd pay me if they want to hire me? Or if they're taking me out on this date, I'm just not 100% sure that I trust them. There's still something sketchy about this. As much reverence as there is, it's almost like Capricorn keeps thinking, I think that there's some hidden agenda. Somebody's treating me well, but what's a hidden agenda? Okay, please don't shoot the messenger. Capricorn might just be thinking in an untrusting mindset, because why could this person not simply think the world of Capricorn and want to take them out on a date, or think the world of Capricorn and want to hire them? But Capricorn is like, I don't know that I trust him. But this actually says somebody really wants to give to Capricorn equally with that 6 of Pentacles. But Cap seems to be suspicious or uncertain. They're not either able to read their own like internal higher self. What does my higher self think about this? Is like, I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It definitely feels like there's an element of distrust, and maybe that's warranted. We don't know what the backstory was here, but it looks like Capricorn's going to have to face the, like an amazing offer and the discomfort of like, I don't know why you want to ask me out. Why are you doing this? What do you want from me? Knight of Pentacles, all said and done, Capricorn can only move through this and chew through this slowly. If this is about trust that would have to be rebuilt, or not even rebuilt, let's just say trust has to be built, period. That's okay. Capricorn, there's no rule that says because somebody gives you a nice offer or wants to take you to a nice dinner that now you are required to give them your trust. That's completely okay to say, well, that's really nice of you. It'll be an opportunity to learn something about you, get to know something about you. But if by the end of it, I still feel like I don't know why you did this, then you still don't have maybe any of my trust yet. It will still take time. And it's not like you need to take me to more expensive dinners and I'll trust you more. But consistency is going to be key. Yeah, I don't see Capricorn feeling super comfortable. They still think that this person has an agenda. And that could persist throughout the week, even though, let me just get one more on that. The fact that the moon card was there, Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Capricorn is guarded. They're like, I know I have a lot to offer, and I know you know I have a lot to offer. So what the heck do you want with me? What's your real motive here? You want me to give to you, but I don't know what the real game plan is here. This could be love or this could be work related. The bottom line is, I mean, this could even be Capricorn's like, are they trying to get me to give them money? Is somebody trying to like, smooge with me, so that then I'll be a benefactor or benefactress to them. It definitely feels like Capricorn's not trusting somebody this week, and it will take time before they would trust that person. But again, maybe there's a good reason for that. All right, next up, Taurus, coming in at 59:33. Oh, you sweetheart, small TV. You're so generous. Thank you. How did you know? That's like the most, you were so to the second. Here I am ready to start with Taurus. All right, here we go. What is the message for the week for Taurus? What's the week hold? We have Temperance. This is lovely. Somebody could be painting. We've got the palette here. We also have like lots going on celestially for Taurus. This could mean that their mind is very, very busy and very creative, but they also have a great outlet for those creative ideas. Sometimes we think of great stuff and it's like, oh man, I'll have to shelf that. I can't get to that anytime soon. But in this case, Taurus might be able to actually get busy putting some of these beautiful thoughts that they have into like action. They might be even asked for their opinion, and Taurus could be like, oh, sure. Like, I have lots to say on that topic. It feels like a creative flow has a place to go this week that would make Taurus feel very comfortable and very fluid. We have a 9 of Swords, though. This 9 of Swords, I don't know that I think that this one belongs to Taurus. If a week is going to be all about balance, I mean, we could say in order to maintain balance, stresses and sleepless nights must be dealt with. Here again, we get artistic energy here because we've got like a painting of kind of a tip of the hat to Starry Night by Van Gogh, but then we also have kind of the lilies, the lily pond from Monet here. So we do have like a mishmash of art all over in this. But we got somebody who needs to sleep on it as to whether or not they really want to cross this bridge. Okay, so this could actually have more to do with, since the Temperance could be about finding peace between two people. There are some things that are beautiful and easy in Taurus's world, but there could be one sticky subject, and it could be, I'm at peace, but do I let somebody back into my life and build a bridge with them? When would that jeopardize the peace that I've had? It feels like Taurus's life is good at the moment, but then when they think about bringing somebody else around, that's where it gets difficult. Okay, so we have a 2 of Cups. Now it makes more sense why it could be a lot to think about. Is a 2 of Cups trying to re-emerge into Taurus's life this week? Is that why we have... No, we have a 2 of Swords upright. We have the Magician in the reverse. Virgo, Gemini energy. It's not that a 2 of Cups is trying to bust back in. It's almost that the only thing that rattles Taurus's peace is when they think about a 2 of Cups and whether or not this is a closed chapter or, a to be continued storyline. The Magician in the reverse is like, I'm either lying to myself about what I'm manifesting, or I really don't feel like I can manifest this. But the 2 of Swords says I'm blocking it. We've got contradiction here. And I'm wondering if the simplest way for me to say this is Taurus's life is great as long as they don't go down the rabbit hole of saying, but do I have to take back some really important relationship of my life that maybe we were not successful, but I have to believe that they're still the one for me, and so they must be needing to come back. But truth be told, I don't really know that I would want this. But on the other hand, am I pushing away something that would be really wonderful? But it almost feels like this is neither here nor there, because I don't see this person actually showing up right now. So this week, it's more maybe the question mark of what is a 2 of Cups really all about? Because this looks like it's stressful for Taurus to contemplate, even though it's supposed to be beautiful and loving. So they could be doing a deeper dive into like, wow, my life is great as a single individual, but anytime I start thinking about a really important romantic partner of my life where we had conflict already, when I imagine building a bridge back with them, even though I still love them, it kind of gives me like stress hives, you know? It's like I'm not sure that I'm actually wanting that back. I don't even know that I'd want to do a second chance with that because my life is feeling really, really balanced until I start thinking about that. It is definitely challenging the idea of, sometimes the Two of Cups gets way over romanticized. I mean, there's a whole mythos that goes along with it that everybody knows I don't agree with. I've always had an issue with the whole Two of Cups stuff. But this doesn't mean I'm right or anybody else is wrong. It's just we all have our own opinions, right? We got a Five of Swords. I'm sorry, but I don't think Taurus is going to let somebody bring chaos into their life. And I think this is the week that they really are contemplating the depth of how much better their life is right now when they're not dealing with a Two of Cups relationship, someone who loves them and who they love. But I think this person's very difficult. And I think that there's always conflict with this person. And they're starting to realize, I'm not so sure I want to call them back in. I'm not so sure that this is the romance that I would call back again. Energetically, particularly energetically, I don't think I want to do that. It's basically, I think this could be a week where Taurus departs from the romanticized notion of, like one destined love, and instead they might be about to open their heart up to somebody brand new. And this is the week that they're kind of actually entertaining that idea and why that might be a better plan for them. All right, that's a big change for sure. Oh my gosh, Tammy, thank you. Thank you so much, Tammy. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at Virgo now. Virgo, you guys are last but not least. Virgo is 10605. All right, here we go. Virgo, the week says Two of Pentacles. Virgo may have to be quite dynamic. Virgo could have two different, we'll say, masculines coming into their life, by the way. Or Virgo has a choice to let go of one and welcome another. We've got a baseball cap and we've got a cowboy hat. Virgo could be very peaceful, though, at the same time, but she's holding a clock in one hand while we've got these two different hats floating up above. It almost feels like, since Two of Coins is juggling or making peace with something, got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I think this is Virgo saying, I'm calling time on, if one person were ever going to reach out to me, write to me, it hasn't happened yet. I think their time is up. I think this is my confirmation this week that I'm okay with it, but it's time that I turn my attention to the baseball cap or to the cowboy hat, whichever. But one person who has not yet communicated to Virgo, I think that this is it. This week is the time, maybe by Tuesday. Virgo's like, that's it. I have to put a stop to this open door policy where they could always come back in anytime they want. I think we hit the mark. Maybe it's two different people, two different options. And Virgo's like, you know what? Neither one of them has reached back out to me. So we're done. I'm ready to look toward other avenues now. It definitely feels like a very peaceful, like Virgo's heart has been liberated. They're not holding space, waiting to hear from any particular person. They are open to whatever's in their greatest and highest good, and they're thinking more about their wishes coming true. Virgo could be just spending more of their week. I don't know, this does feel like, since we have a Seven of Cups, they're spending like most of their week identifying what would make them happiest, and they're not even thinking about who's coming toward them or who isn't. But it's because it's time's up. I keep seeing time's up on this. Someone who hasn't reached out to Virgo, and I'm thinking for like the longest time, Virgo's like, I don't even ever expect to hear from them. It's not happening, and I can let that go. Three of Swords. hang on. Looking at Virgo's hopeses and wishes and dreamses. Um, looking at Virgo's hopes, wishes, and dreams, and wanting to have success doesn't mean that they don't still have like the acknowledgement that some things had caused them a ton of grief. We have an 8 of Pentacles though, and the High Priestess. Everything here says Virgo has moved through some hurt and pain. They're working on through it, and they knew that this day was going to come. They knew that this was like, it's almost like Virgo knows that this was their destiny. They were going to be done one fine day with stuff that was painful, and that was going to be exactly the day that they would start to like be able to turn their fortune around, turn their energy. I think Virgo's going to have a really either productive week. They could have wins that come in from other areas. Virgo could have a flood of financial success there. If they are like a business owner or something, they could all of a sudden have their business explode, but it's because they kind of stopped holding their breath in some other area of life. This is more about Virgo's energy. So when Virgo, I'm sorry to say it, but like gives up on hearing from one particular person and instead starts opening up their horizons, it's like they also open up their energy. And on one hand, it's like, oh, it does kind of suck that this is the end of one chapter where I was holding space for somebody. But on the other hand, God, that was hurting. I didn't even realize how much it hurt. Now that I don't hurt anymore. Oh, there's a great song by the Bleachers. It's literally, that's the lyrics, stop making it hurt. Just say goodbye like you mean it. I feel like that is Virgo letting this go for reals. And now they I think almost immediately have a sense of balance coming back into their life. We do have, Virgo holding their hands out, palms up like their scales, and now we have scales again shown on the High Priestess card. So I really feel like there's way more balance, and where Virgo's energy was on pause waiting to hear from somebody, when they surrender that, they also surrender the pain that they didn't even know was associated with the permanent waiting. And now there's this flood of new energy coming in. This could be finances coming in. This could be a new person coming in that wants to work with Virgo. And Virgo is going to be like, oh my God, somewhere deep down, I knew that this wouldn't happen until I was really fed up, not just to my eyebrows, but beyond. And I could finally really let go of someone who should have reached out to me so long ago and they never did. Now, I don't care if they ever do. In fact, I'm sure that they won't anyway. I wouldn't bother to open their email or their text if they did. Virgo's like, I had to get to that point where I could feel that way before good stuff was going to start happening in my world again. Virgo's own mindset for a while was preventing their own progress, is what I would say. And that's going to be revealed this week. We do need one more card after that High Priestess, because there's so much positivity. Wheel of Fortune. Yes, there has been all kinds of blocked energy in Virgo's world while they waited for someone to maybe do the right thing or do right by them. And now that Virgo's like, oh, God, I'm never going to hear from that person. They're never going to say sorry. They're never going to try to reestablish contact with me. They're never going to. And now I'm finally free of it. That is like, and let me put it in this context, because this just hit me, but this is more on a personal note. And that's probably why that comment that I just made off of these cards hit me. I don't want to say that Virgo was like waiting to hear from a lover. This could be, and the reason I'm saying is on a more personal note, sometimes we have other people in our lives, non-romantic people, who have behaved in a heinous fashion, and you always kind of still think, well, there's no way that someone could actually let that hang in the air between us, right? There's no way that they could live their whole life and let it be that story, right? And sometimes people can. And when sometimes you realize that that's it, that is the end of the story, that's really who they were. They don't even want to make it right. They never imagined that they needed to. We free ourselves from the perpetual thinking any day they must be going to fix this, right? Sometimes the answer is no, because they truly are the person, whatever they did wrong, they've never thought that they needed to fix it. It's not, they don't have the capacity to think that they, trespassed, or to think that they need to fix something. There are people out there that's it. And the only one who loses if we wait for them to change their mind, or we hold the door open in case they ever want to come back in and say sorry, is us, because we stand there holding a door open for them, watching for them, waiting for them, and they never come. They don't ever come back to fix things. And that can be in a non-romantic context, but that too is like an eye-opening and relieving thing when we finally go, oh, some people are just like that. Okay, I can accept that. Now let me move on to other things in my life. In fact, I can finally let go of that hurt or pain and realize that there's way better people out there that I should be holding doors open for or letting into my life. And I think that is the most freeing thing ever. That's a wonderful story on this one, actually. That Wheel of Fortune opening up says this could be everything in Virgo's life is about to flow in. Money, joy, friendship, love, success, all of it. Virgo was diverting too much of their attention to someone who still hadn't communicated with them, and those days are gone. That's what's happening this week. That's really awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you, everybody. It's so great to see you. Thank you for hanging out late tonight. So I'm going to bounce out of here, and then I'm going to come right back on, and we're going to do one more storyline tonight, because we still need to get the today's topic video out. Okay. So I thought I might do that one live tonight also. Thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Small TV. So generous. Roxanne, thank you for reminding me. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up, you guys. I so appreciate you. And thank you again, Tammy, you angel. All right, you guys. Sweet dreams if this is where we part ways. Otherwise, if you're still up late, I'm going to do one more live tonight, okay? All right, everybody. AC, Libra, Miss Moody, Calm Seas, EM, AC, Nikki O, Decoded. So wonderful to see you all tonight. I love it. Just out of reach. Hey, hey. Oh, that's wonderful. Just out of reach. Thank you so much. Holly Light, Delani. Wonderful to see you this evening. Bogdanka, hi. Wonderful to catch you also, love. Angie and April. JD Stara, thank you for being here. Deep Blue the Night. Thanks, Sunflower. And again, happy birthday, Mario. All right, everybody. Tommy, hi. Good night, RS. Bye, honey. Thanks again, G Long. All right, you guys. I'll see you again in just a few. I'm going to timestamp these first.